So I'm going to do an update on my Chronomancer. I went ahead and adjusted quite a bit. I specced into this again. It's too much. Without it, you take way too much damage from any slimes you get hit by. You still take a lot of damage with it. I don't have great mitigation, but it's helpful. I also grabbed this node now, swapped out of this, dropped most of this tree, grabbed this node as well. I was thinking about grabbing this one, just going all in on skill effect duration. So now the time stop lasts for 8-9 seconds, somewhere in that range. Also grab some more jewel sockets, since they're right next to this area. This one I get past through anyway. And remove these nodes again. Like, these nodes are not super great for the points, but yeah, I was thinking they would give me more. I don't have any pen right now, which is not ideal. Like, very not ideal. Anytime I'm hitting an enemy that has resistance, they're quite durable. But with the crossbow I bought, as well as some actual gear, I haven't decided what I'm going to socket this one with yet. I need to replace this ring, and then I'm basically full build. This is about 70, 75 EX. A little less than 75 EX worth. So, this is the build in action when you actually finance it. Which I financed it entirely with what I earned by using it in lower maps, but this map isn't exactly high, but yeah, it's a little bit better. Oh yeah, I also did, part of the reason I spec'd into these is I decided to go with this rather than this one. The slow stacking is just, it's too good for survival. Getting overwhelmed is pretty easy on this build, and when the enemies are 50% slower, that doesn't really happen. Actually, I think I'm going to do one other thing right now before I finish this map. Since I have those slows now, I'm thinking I can justify swapping to long shot. So now I get in melee range more often than not because of the slow effects. Long shot might not be the best option anymore, but off the top of my head, the only other thing, if it'll let me put momentum in there, depending on how far I move before every shot. Yeah, I'm just gonna go with long shot for now because I don't really have another support on my mind for just a raw damage increase, since all the damage is already converted to lightning. That's not good. That's very not good. That is just a terrible setup. Go ahead and play with the volatile plants, please. I already didn't like that mechanic. I like it even less when it's in a hallway. But yeah, now I can pretty well bulldoze through most maps, at least up to 5. I haven't gotten any 6 yet. The power of actually buying gear. I mean, I farm some of it actually, but, you know, it's just much easier to purchase what you need. There was a ring I was looking for that's 30 exalts, which would get my resists all up to over 50%. 2 more levels and I can get another 5% all res. Oh, rock symbol. I was wondering why I was shooting that. Somewhat registered that it was rock symbol and then forgot mid shooting. It's just how little you got to think with this build. I was gonna have those on every single one of these. Not super thrilled about that. I thought I just had a rare mob in the last one. I definitely feel the loss of mobility. If I didn't have those orbs chasing me, though, it wouldn't matter. The enemies are even slower, so that's just kind of a terrible ritual combination. The reason why I'm able to basically totally face tank now is the first video I did, I didn't have any type of evasion. Evasion is what is saving me, even though it's only 39%. I evade enough hits that I'm able to get an advantage on enemy shield, so I'm always sitting, not always, but after packs I'm sitting at, a couple hundred extra energy shield, which is allowing me to just face tank everything. As fast as they damage me, I get more energy shield back. If they do manage to lower me down to any significant amount, I can always rewind. Which is perfect. Looks perfect. This might be a run map. That's just a not worth the risk fight right there. I should have bursted that down while it was paused. Wish I could just go back in there and do that. Getting trapped right next to a magic drain mob with a pile, not great. Not worth the risk. I should have refilled my flasks, but yeah, the rituals, they're either a cakewalk or they're death traps. Having volatile plants, like even if you have high resist, the volatile plants hurt. And with my resist as they are, they're gonna do at least a couple thousand damage. So being trapped in that tiny little arena with those things going off and a big pile of mobs and having no mana, I just kind of forget sometimes that I actually do use mana. I use so little, it's hard to notice, but you can't reload when you're completely depleted. I'll need to be a little careful when I get over to that side of the map again. I don't want to get pulled in before I'm ready. He's, he's proc symbol again. Yeah, this is what the slow is for. Weird that like every mob in this map has been proc symbol. It's not part of the map mods, it's just bad luck. I also wouldn't mind having a good amount of over shield because I did lose a lot of, like, I lost 1,000 ES, give or take. I swap around my skills like this. It's the arena. It goes. Basically, the only armor I've found to be useful for rares is the hybrid ES and evasion. Other than that, if you want just energy shield, the ghost ride is pretty hard to beat, and if you want raw armor, the black braid, I believe is what it's called. It's a unique. It's pretty hard to beat. It gives you your armor for elemental damage, and it's a low level armor, but you get very bulky by using it. Where's that other altar? That was the overshield I was trying to save. And that's a altar. It's not the one I'm looking for. It's got to be like right up there. Feels like I came right out of this one and walked into the other one. That's it. No? I mean, did I really come all the way over here? Basically capped on overshield if I can find the damn thing. I think the best buy of my entire buying spree was these boots. Like decent defensives and 30% movement speed. They're really cheap, honestly. I'm guessing a lot of people don't really know that. Okay, this has got to be it. I don't like the sound of that. This could be death. Might be. I did get the one I wanted, so don't know what happened there. I guess I got bumped out of the arena and got pulled back in. Yeah, I really wanted to get the mana drain one immediately, so thankfully I got that. Is it worth doing the rest of these? Don't think so. I mean, I'll take this. Like, that just seems great. If I die, I don't die. Maybe. It probably won't save you from death, but maybe I can sell it for big money. I'm sure people in hardcore don't want to die, and it's do I not want to die more than them? Actually need to stand between the two. Amazing bossing, I know. Really high tier gameplay. But hey, they gave me a 8-second spawn, not spawn, a time stop, and I can then increase it to I think 9 or 10 seconds by standing next to them with temporal. I'm going to use it. I did not make this class, but I will exploit the hell out of it. Why bother fighting bosses? Which, the sad thing is this crossbow is only about 50% effective. Like, it's really good. It was worth what I paid for it. The guy sold it to me for 50x, which, that's a lot, but that's just kind of how crossbows are. That's why I said this is sort of a budget build, but at the same time, crossbows are just so expensive that there's no such thing as a budget crossbow character. Like, if you want to use them, you're going to have to pay, because apparently everyone wants to use them. But yeah, it has all the right stats. The physical's a little low, and ideally, I don't know if you have to get rid of the grant life per hit or the cold damage. One of those two needs to be changed to elemental damage with attacks. And you want, like, 120, 130% on that. And that basically just doubles the damage of the crossbow. But if that was what he was selling, it would be a whole lot more than 50x. Like, this was a really good deal, honestly. But that's the new build. I mean, it's basically the old build. Just gonna go over it one more time just to be clear. Swapped out this, swapped out all of this, and went over here. I also gained like 5 levels, but went over here to grab Chronomancy. You know, you have to get Chronomancy on the Chronomancer, and then Preservation. And also, I went over here and grabbed this as well, which I gave up the inner circle of this, and I pulled a few nodes out of like odds and ends, like places. This right here, this over here, I guess, and I feel like, oh, I pulled out these nodes. I feel these nodes missing. Like, it's the mana that you really feel the loss on because you don't have a lot of regeneration naturally. But to get this, it was worth it. You just, I don't know exactly what the formula is here, but that 120% armor while not low energy shield, you feel a massive difference. Like, when you're full energy shield and things are hitting you, you barely take any damage. When you get low life or low energy shield, like, you start to see your HP chipping away. So, in a sense, it's kind of bad in that regard. You saw how quickly I almost died in the last one. Now, the next time, it'll just be even faster, at least towards physical. Now, that was all ice damage, but, you know. Now it'll be all physical damage next time. And next time I might not hit pause in time. But yeah, that's the new setup. This is basically what I was going for to begin with, except that I went and got the skill declaration. The only other thing I would also recommend, which this is what I was planning on doing, where is it? This one. I was planning on putting this on my amulet, which I might want to get a better amulet before I do this, because I'm pretty sure the Disgust is like 60 exalts, but just to totally min-max my skill declaration and cooldown, that's the last piece that I would put in there, and then everything else is kind of just getting back what I gave up. Like, the first thing I need to get back is the pen, and then, yeah, I just need to fill back out my defensive tree, get back my mana regen. Like, all the remaining levels are already spoken for. There will be no more expanding on this build, just mixing the two versions of it together until I have everything. But yeah, that's gonna have a shorter one for this, just showcasing what the build should have been to begin with if I wasn't being stingy. Later.